What's up, guys? My name is Steph, and I am the owner of the Brotherhood Group, and this is 5 Minutes of Faith. For today's verse, we're going to go out of Deuteronomy 31, verses 6 through 8. And I'm just going to read it here, and verse 6 starts out by saying this: Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified or afraid of them. For it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Goes on in verse 7 and says, Moses then summoned Joshua and said to him in the sight of all Israel, Be strong and courageous, for you will go with this people into the land the Lord swore to give to their fathers. You will enable them to take possessions of it. The Lord is the one who will go before you. Verse 8, He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not be afraid or discouraged. Now, I love this verse because it has so many great reminders that we need as men and as followers of Christ on a daily basis. And starting off at the top where it says, be strong and courageous. Like, how many times throughout our day do we need to be strong and courageous? How much does it take for us to be strong and courageous? It takes a lot. It takes effort. It takes action. It takes boldness. But a lot of times we're not strong. We're not courageous because we have fear. We have doubt. We're nervous, we're scared. But how can we be strong and courageous? One thing that I love that it points to in this verse here, it says, He will not leave you or forsake you. Okay, and then another part of the verse, it talks about how He will go before you. Guys, just think about that concept. Think about how, although we might be strong and courageous, we have a God of the universe, a God who created everything, who goes before us in certain situations and circumstances, who's with us through all that we go through. I don't know about you, but in my life, there are times where I am nervous, I am afraid, I am scared. But when I think about and remind myself, man, that God's with me. God has gone before me. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if He's going to say He was with me yesterday, He's probably going to be with me today. And that's the same for you too. So no matter where you're at in your life, I want to encourage you to be bold and courageous, to trust and have faith. And then this last part here, it says, do not be afraid or discouraged. Okay, and let's talk about real quick what's going on here. So this is the end of Deuteronomy. Moses is coming to the end of his life. And Joshua is who's been walking with Moses through all that they have gone through, bringing the Israelites out of Egypt. Joshua is about to be the one to continue, or Moses is about to hand him the baton to continue taking the Israelites to the promised land. And what's going on here is Moses is talking to Joshua. He's saying, hey, we've been through a lot. Okay, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but through it all, God has been with us and He has gotten us through it all. So He's going to continue that with you as you now lead these Israelites to the promised land. And what I love, and I'm jumping ahead here a little bit, but in the beginning of Joshua, which is the next book, the Lord is now talking to Joshua, and He basically repeats all of these things. And He says, have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? So it's like Joshua has Moses, a man just like him, pouring into him. And then he has Jesus, he has God telling him the exact same thing that he was reminded from Moses. So for me, I'm like, man, how important is it for us as men to have someone walking with us, going through life with us physically here, pouring into us positive things that are true through the Word, and then also the importance of us as men also spending time with the Lord, doing what we can to know God more so that we can trust Him. Because having trust, having faith, that requires action. We can say it all we want. We can talk about how bold and how brave we are, but until we take action, those are just words. I wrote this down, and it says, walk in trust even when we can't see it. And a lot of the times, the reason why we hesitate is because we don't know what's on the other side. But I'm telling you right now, if you can hang on to this concept through these verses, that God is always with you, He will never leave you or forsake you, the boldness that you could now live with is just going to be something that you can't even really imagine. But you can't experience that until you take action. Faith requires action. And guys, I don't know where you're at in your life, but like we still have to fight. And the reason why I'm saying that is in this concept of Joshua now taking the Israelites to the promised land, it's like God's going to have them go through a lot of wars, a lot of battles, a lot of struggle. But he says, hey, even through that, I'm still with you. So it's like they still have to fight. They still have to go through the challenging times. But you can do that. Through faith, through action, you can consistently do that. So I love you. I hope today's message was helpful. I'll see you on the next video.